Y'all, I would not really wish this on my worst enemy. We got to talk about what's going on with Kim Zolciak. I try to keep my Kim Zolciak news updates to a minimum because it seems like every week or every other day there's a new story. So we're going to talk about that. But first, we got to talk about what is going to be a spoiler alert. Y'all know how we like to do on this channel. Sometimes we will talk about upcoming scenes from the show that's going to be airing in this week. And so today is one of those days. I love these days, but some of you guys don't like to be spoiled. So if you do not, go ahead and hit the mute button and just watch along. Have a good time. Try to think about what I might be talking about, okay? Or imagine yourself someplace else, but just continue to watch the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so. And make sure you guys hit that like button. I know it's easy to forget that. Anyway, let's get into the tea with Potomac, okay? So in this episode, the ladies will be confronting Robyn Dixon about Juan not being there. Okay. Now, the sneak peek says, thanks to our friends over at Reality Chat. Hey, boo. Robyn is confronted about keeping Juan's scandal a secretion. Okay, a secretion. So, what you will see in this scene when you guys go to Reality Chat's page to watch it for yourself, because I'm sure you will, as I'm sure you need to, and leave a comment and a like. Let's talk about it. Let's break it on down. Now, of course, I'm not playing the clip because it's YouTube and that's the property of Bravo, so we want to adhere to the policies today. And so in this clip, you will see Karen basically say that Robyn, you will talk to everybody else, all the girls that you want to talk to, but then you have the girls that you don't talk to, and that's, creating a little bit of a division in the group. Okay. Now, I would say that the division in the group is far exceeds just Robyn. Okay, let's be clear, Casper. I just like saying that. Anyway, so Robyn then basically goes on to say, well, what did you want me to do? I mean, I did not even tell my mama on my hood. Sorry, I did just have a shot of espresso. So when that happens, you all know what that means. Okay, you know what that means. If you're not new here to this channel, you will know your boy is caffeine the sensitive. Okay, and because I'm caffeine the sensitive, it just comes out when I'm working. Okay, so anyway, she's like, and so listen, I go back to this I'm gonna we're gonna dive into further what she says, because she does something that I feel like I hate when she does this. But for me, I do understand not wanting to talk about something that could be humiliating to your marriage, or, that you have had some level of trauma from, and you may have dealt with it in between seasons. I get it, to a certain degree, but I do think that there's a way, if you were smart, you could have played it like, had Giselle introduce the topic, and therefore she could still be the one doing the gossiping, but also confronting you about it, and then having a moment where you say, you know what, yeah, this did happen, and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle it. You know what I'm saying? And I this is the man that I love, and I have determined that I want this to be my partner. So this is something that we are going to work through, and it sucks. You know what I'm saying? I think that could have played out a lot better, and even if she had possibly used this as her response when confronted by Karen, I think it would have gone a long way towards allowing the women, or allowing herself to be vulnerable and share how she's really feeling. Unfortunately, Robyn continues to do the thing that Robyn does, and I'm going to get to that in 1 second. But then, Candiace kind of like, also pops up and basically says, I think she was like, I reached out to you and you straight up ignored me. So here we get a clip of what Candiace, at least from what the show gives us, texted her. Whatever else aside, I am sorry this is happening to you. I'm sorry this is happening to your family. And this was 2 days after Juan lost his job. Now, we all know that also, Candiace had called Robyn a fraud, because they showed that clip from our boy at House of Aaron's interview with Candiace. I don't blame Candiace for feeling the way that she felt, But I can also see a space where it's like, oh man, he lost his job. Like that's a different level of situation. You know what I'm saying? And so I do feel like that was a way of at least keeping the door open for communication, or at least showing some level of empathy for what she was going through at that moment. Especially in light of what, the other allegations that Juan was facing at one point in time, with the lawsuit. And it was just a lot. So, but the thing that can't, Robyn says, she stands on the fact that, like, no, girl, you were ripping me to shreds in the media, so I wasn't going to respond, which I have to say is fair, right? It's fair. But then you can't say she didn't at least reach out to you, right? Because she did. So I'm on the fence about that one. I'm split down the middle. Let me know what you guys think. But Robyn does something that I think that we continue to see Robyn do, which is why a lot of people have a hard time empathizing with Robyn, particularly probably her castmates, is because she does this thing where she makes herself either one, I don't care, basically putting up a wall so that she doesn't really have to discuss what she really either felt in that moment when she found out, or at least expressing it to the group, and putting it off as though she's just very flippant about it and nonchalant, probably taking a cue from Juan and hoping that will work to satisfy people, or at least to satisfy herself, right? But the other thing that she does in this scene is she hops up and she says, I mean, what do you want to do? You want to fight me? Y'all just want to beat me up? Y'all just want to continue to beat me up? And I remember distinctly a couple of weeks ago, she talked about the internet stealing her joy. And I, at that point in time, said to myself, like, no, the internet didn't steal your joy. No one told you to go up on that podcast and talk about this. If you really wanted to shut that thing down and leave it in the past, you would have simply said nothing. Okay. I've said that time and time again. That was the biggest mistake I feel like Robyn made in this situation. If she wanted to dead this situation down to the ground, she would have said absolutely nothing and continued to post about her and Juan as though they were just moving right on along past it and moving through those issues. But instead, what she chose to do was she chose to, and Juan had even said in the clip at the beginning of the season, he told her not to go on that podcast and say that. So you did have a conversation with your husband, but you decided to do it anyway. And in that moment, Giselle was very much like, yes, girl. I mean, tell it. I mean, she won't say it. I mean, though I did put a little Ashley Darby stank on it. Sorry, y'all. But I know how, I know that's not a seasoning that goes down too well with a lot of people. But I felt like it was apropos for today's discussion. You understand what I'm saying? And so the caffeine took over. And so blame it on the blame it on the caffeine, not the alcohol. So, there's that. And so to me, this sort of like making herself the victim listen, to a certain degree, it did happen to her, right? But what she's doing now is not something that's happening to her. Again, she could have simply said, y'all, I honestly did not know how to tell y'all. It was embarrassing for me. It's embarrassing, and I don't know how to handle that situation. I know there's no manual for it. There's no blueprint for it. What would you guys do in that situation? And I think had she put it back on them, and she could have also said, I did not think that with this group, I did not trust with this group that I would get the level of support that I really needed at the time. And I don't know how we begin to heal from that and move forward. And I honestly believe that in that moment, had she come with a sense of, you know what, this is the reality, this is how I'm feeling, and I did not trust that this was a safe enough space for me to say these things to you all, I feel like the conversation could then begin to move forward with the entire group. Not that the onus is on Robyn to do that for the group, but I do think that she would have done herself more of a service had she simply been honest. Okay. And that's my 2 cents on that. We'll see what happens in the episode and how it plays out. But that's really what I wanted to talk to you guys about, because it's like there was a path forward for this situation. And if and the producers can't tell her how I mean, they can encourage maybe, but they can't tell her what to do. And so I can't blame it on them, because they're only going to be able to work with what she gives. You know what I'm saying? So have the moment, and be transparent. And I feel like it would have worked out so much better for you. So now I want to get over to our conversation about Kim Zolciak. And again, this is the part that I would not wish on my worst enemy. Now, this comes to us from By Wig Hello Drama. Now, this literally popped up on my explore page as when I opened up my Instagram, and I was searching for something else, and I was like, oh, we haven't had a good Kim and Corey update. This is so crazy, y'all. So the exclusive, and I'm assuming this is from TMZ that they got it from. Kim and Corey money woes deepen. Now, I have been hearing more and more about their money woes. It says Kim is being sued by Chase Bank and Corey is being sued by his attorney. Let's get into that. So this piece right here says Kim Zolciak has been sued by Chase Bank due to unpaid credit card payments just one day after her estranged husband, Corey Bierman, was sued by his own attorney amid money woes. Now, do you know this is bad when the attorneys are suing you? You know what I'm saying? And again, I wish this on no one, right? Because I do feel like people will experience all types of debt as they go throughout their lives. Rich people, whether you have a whole lot of money or not, you will, I mean, at some point in time, everybody may experience a fall from grace with regards to money issues. It just is what it is. But what I want to do for you guys is I want to put it in perspective for you how much we are seeing that Kim and Corey owe, because the amount of debt is just piling up. So they owe Simmons Bank over $230,000 because they defaulted on a home equity line of credit, according to docs obtained by TMZ. So a Georgia court is ordering to pay Simmons Bank that amount. Now, they're also being sued by Saks Capital One for more than $150,000 in unpaid credit card fees after Kim stopped making payments on the card in September of 2022, according to Page Six. Now, a part of me wonders, a lot of these things I had realized happened around the same, not really the same time, but it seemed like certain payments stopped being made in September. And I'm wondering if there was maybe going to be an attempt to file for bankruptcy. And I'm interested to know if you guys, I'm not familiar with the bankruptcy process, but I'm interested in knowing, like, what do you guys know about bankruptcy in general? Let me know in the chat what your thoughts and feelings are about that. They owe the IRS 1.1 million for, we talked about that. Target, they owe $2,482. Kim is being sued by Bank of America, which claims she's late on payments, owing more than $50,000. Kim is being sued by Chase Bank for $4,000. Croy is being sued by his attorney for unpaid fees of $800. Croy is being sued by Chase Bank for $13,000. They are facing foreclosure on their home. Discover is suing Croy for $11,275, and Croy recently lost a lawsuit that BMW filed against him and had to return his $400,000 SUV to the company. Dang, that's a lot of money for an SUV. Listen, I don't know how much Kim got paid for her surreal life, gig. So, I'm hoping that I listen. You may love Kim, you may dislike Kim, but I definitely hope and pray that they are able to get themselves out of this situation, because financial debt is one of the most worrisome debts that you can ever face in your entire life. And I will leave you guys with this. It's expensive to be broke. And I don't mean that in a way that is shameful to them, because I've been there, not there, okay? Not here, okay? But I've had my own issues with debt way back in the past when I lived in LA. And I know that it is a hard thing to recover from. But with hard work, dedication, they can do it, okay? They just got to hunker down and figure it out. And maybe this divorce right now ain't the best idea. Or maybe they should just go ahead with this bankruptcy. I don't know if that would help at all. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And I will catch you, of course, in the next video.